Escape room employees, what's the least successful escape attempt that you've ever seen? Oh, I have a story. But I am not an employee. We had a group from work go for team building. They got into the elevator and it stopped working. They spent 15 minutes trying to figure out if the elevator was meant to be part of the escape room. Didn't want to press the emergency button because wasn't sure if it was some reverse psychology thing. Ended up getting really hot and one of the dudes started panicking. Took off his shirt while in the elevator. Basically spent the whole time debating. Ended up getting a call from the escape room people about if they were going to miss the appointment. Waited another hour for the fire department. Got out and had to come back to work. Team building things have been on hold since. No one talks about Naked Brian, the guy that used a hammer on the drywall, because he swore there was a secret door, because he could see the seam. One group spent the entire time arguing and never even solved the first puzzle. The escape room I worked at had a real fire alarm inside the room. I'm sure you can see how this ended up. Yusuunayat. I'm 100% positive that I'm the subject of one of these stories. My group once put me in charge of a puzzle involving wires during crunch time, since I'm a tech geek. I stood there with a handful of wires being completely useless, and it took a couple of precious minutes to get the team to stop panicking with their own projects before they realized what was wrong. I'm colorblind. Had one group get stuck on the thought a lock was the next solution. Even after basically telling them the solution and that it wasn't that lock, they ran back to it. It wasn't even a lock they were supposed to open. It was one for us. And they wasted 75% of their time on it. One time, a group managed to spend an entire hour arguing over whether to turn a key left or right. They never even made it past the first puzzle. You get these kinds of people from time to time, but there are people that no matter how much help you give them, they just cannot understand what to do. You get people sometimes where you can straight up tell them, put the code 1234 into the lock that you're holding to unlock it, and they just will not get it. We have a room where there are backpacks that you find with items inside. In an escape room, if you ever find a bag, usually, the first instinct is to open it. So I had one team where I told them to check out the backpack in the room, and they just picked the backpack up and then said, "Now what?" And I had to tell them that they're supposed to open it and see what's inside. Also, FYI, when we say that we'll be watching your game, we're telling the truth. If you ever go to an escape room, understand that someone is always watching and they can see absolutely everything that you do and hear everything that you say. I've seen and heard many things that I wish I could forget. Don't be all over your partner to the point where you're borderline fucking in the rooms, and please, don't play in an escape room at the same time that you have a phone appointment with your doctor. I learned more intimate information about a woman who is a complete stranger than I ever wanted to know. Escape room employees, what's the least successful escape attempt that you've ever seen? First response, oh, I have a story, but I am not an employee. The story of Reddit in 2 lines.